Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Cheers. Should be an interesting show. Pretty civil, pretty calm.
Nothing to be mad about. It's only the first day of cuts.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we get started, thank you everybody who's been joining us on our streams, watching our videos, and thank you for supporting our fundraiser too. So we have, we're going to September 11th is the last day. So we're gonna be done. And $1 from every koozie goes to the Defensive Line Foundation, which helps support mental health awareness and more importantly, suicide prevention. So you have them, I think, Primetime Show to get that one. You have this one. They're, 2 for $10. We definitely appreciate all the support. It's been, I try to get it mailed out in like 2 days. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Primetime, today was a day we all waited for. Everybody had their roster predictions, their hot takes, their cold takes, and everything else. And I'm surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really surprised. So I think probably the best way to go through this is we'll say hello to everybody first, but I think we go position group by position group so we don't get sidetracked. And
we'll save the safeties for last. That's perfect.
That's fine. We could do that. Well, the quarterback position apparently is also very controversial too for some reason. So we'll start there, I guess. It's the Jets come out, they cut Strevler, which to me was no surprise. I mean, you knew what he was when he came here. He was a training camp arm. He wasn't getting a lot of reps. Then he came on in the preseason. He closed out 3 games, had the exciting victory over the Giants, the touchdown pass.
Can you just answer something for me? Why is there more outrage over him getting cut than half of our 2020 draft class?
I mean, there's that. What's remarkable to me is that what I like, to be honest with you, is I love when people attack me on social media and they're like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. We're quite fortunate to have a very great community here where we interact in our comments on our videos. So I received a ton of comments saying they should cut Flacco, not White, cut Flacco and start Strevler.
I've seen a bunch that he should start too.
Yeah.
Like based on what? His production against third stringers, many of which have been cut already. I mean, that's what we're going off of now. And let's remember also, Mike White was the same hero last year. and he was this darling after a regular season game against a team that went to the fucking Super Bowl. So now we're taking 20 days of Chris Strevler against nobodies and saying, here you go, here's the starting job. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, so the thing is, to me, is like I'm hoping that he makes a practice squad and he gets a chance to develop his game, grow and improve in this offense. But to cut Flacco is ridiculous. And I understand the principle behind Mike White because I will say this now, I don't think Zach Wilson's playing week 1. He's not. He's just getting. He needs at least a week of practice. It's now we're going into tomorrow's Wednesday. He's not practicing yet. They're not going to rush him out there. So if you're going into week 1 with Joe Flacco and he's not the youngest guy in the world, that's the most mobile guy in the world. If he gets, God forbid, a hit or injury to come out, you want the guy that gives you the next best chance to win that football game. That person is Mike White because he knows the playbook. He's played in the NFL. He's played with this team before within this offense. Yep. This is a no-brainer, dude. And it's not an indictment on Strevler. It's about winning week 1 and what gives you the best chance to do it.
Listen,
Strevler on the active roster doesn't do it for you.
Dude, it's a great story. Like I love seeing him out there, the locker room chanting his name. It's a phenomenal story. But like you just said, if you actually need him to go out there in a regular season game, week 1, Flacco gets hurt, who are you taking? Him, who's been here for 30 minutes, or Mike White, who's actually been in the offense, been in real games, has worked with all these receivers before? Like, yeah, it's a no-brainer, dude. Like, you can't take that risk on a guy who maybe has some skills to work with, but he hasn't done it yet. It's too big of a risk.
And it's not an indictment on the player. It's just he came here late. He wasn't getting reps, and you can't even open a playbook. He probably knows a fraction of the playbook. So the Mike White thing, I understand. Now everybody hates Mike White. Now apparently he's the worst quarterback in the world, and he sucks. To me, it's wild. I don't understand it, but whatever. I mean, to me, this season is all about Zach Wilson. Like, if we get to the point that Mike White and Strevler, the guys that are on the field, we have much bigger issues to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, now all of a sudden, it's like, whatever. So the next one, I'll say this is the first position group that surprised me. And I'm not going to be completely outraged until I see how it gets handled over the next 3 days. But the running back group, where we were both very high on Zonovan Knight, love the fact that as of today, which by the time you watch this tomorrow night, he could not be here, but Zonovan Knight makes a team, good on special teams, explosive runner, very physical. Happy about that. You got Breece Hall, you got Michael Carter. But to me, Tevin Coleman, I was surprised by because we watched on Sunday, dude, the blitz pickup. Breece Hall's a little slow sometimes. Michael Carter has his chance of issues here.
Yep.
Is Ty Johnson known for his blocking?
Not really. That, and also he had a number of drops last year too. And LaFleur likes to use backs out of the backfield. So, if he's actually going to be in there, who do you trust more? Tevin Coleman, who's actually been in LaFleur's offense for a number of years, going back to San Francisco.
Yep.
The limited reps that he has had, he showed he still has that burst. He's still relatively young. So if you were going to keep a fourth running back, I have no idea why it's not Coleman over Johnson, unless it's just about not guaranteeing his salary, which I know is talked about with a lot of veterans. So you bring him back after week 1. His salary is not guaranteed, which isn't that much anyway. So not really sure.
Yeah, to me, this is the one position group that I think if the Jets make any claims or any roster moves over the next 2 days, this is the one position group that's going to get impacted. And my guess is Ty Johnson's out of here. Like I just can't see it, dude. I don't see it.
Unless they're trying to let the first wave go and then see if they could sneak Zonovan Knight on the practice squad after that.
Yeah, I mean, to have 4 running backs, I just don't see them keeping it this way. But for today,
the only thing that is concerning, like you said, is having 3 backs that are relatively young as far as blitz pickup, playbook. How far along are they with that?
And that's where I think Tevin Coleman's so valuable, man. And I still think he's got something in him. Like you watch him play. We saw him in practice, dude. He's got burst. He's got speed. He's got a lot of good things. Good mentor for the young guys. So if I had my first questionable thing here, it's as of today, like I said, it's subject to change. Like over the next 2 days, there's going to be a lot of moves. So then you go to wide receiver group. And this one here is no surprise because you're not going to cut Denzel Mims because you're going to keep him because you want to trade. You want to get especially after the last game, you want to get something for him. And if you can't get anything for him, which they may not, you know what? Stay here. If a guy goes down, somebody gets hurt, next man up, you're here.
I agree. Don't you think the entire situation and kind of how it's played out just looks bad on kind of everybody?
I mean, it is what it is, dude. I mean, you can't cut him.
I agree. I mean, Joe Douglas is going to wait this out, and ultimately, whenever he gets the right value, he'll make the trade. But just the way that they handled the reps, and I understand. Like we talked about it during the game, like having a certain bar that you want for players to reach as far as work ethic, character, and all those other things. But like I kind of mentioned with Mekhi Becton, it's hard to say that guy put in the right amount of work needed to be ready for training camp. So it's like, here's his spot because nobody is there behind him. But if the message is all about work ethic, attitude, all those intangibles, well, if you're not willing to do it with a guy that you really need, is it really sending the right message?
Well, maybe it's got to be something, dude. It's either he doesn't know the routes, or it's work ethic or anything else. I have people that I know the situation that told me things, and I'm just like, all right, I get it. They said the same thing last year about him. So it's like, it's got to be something. Because if your player is this good, as a team, it hurts you to hold him back unless he's not following your protocols. He's not doing the right thing.
If it's that much of a problem, though, I mean, wouldn't he be gone by now? Like, why let it drag out like this?
Well, now they're saying
cancer and he doesn't know the playbook and he's causing all these problems. Just make the move, get rid of him. Take whatever.
He's not causing. Now they're saying he's just frustrated. So now he's there. He's frustrated. But the same thing. He's an insurance policy. You can be frustrated, but you're going to be on this team in case somebody goes down. We still got a week and a half to week 1. And now they're saying
I like him as an insurance policy behind Corey Davis, and that's all the more reason. Like I don't get it as far as why he didn't get more of an opportunity with the twos, especially in that second preseason game. He was like the 7th or 8th guy out there. If you're actually going to keep him on the roster ahead of other guys, well, how big of an issue is he really off the field?
Well, I mean, playing with the ones and twos obviously doesn't mean anything. Because look at the safeties. Well, Pinnickle's going with the ones for most of the camp. Right?
That's another conversation. But like, what kind of message does it send though? Like, if Calvin Jackson has a ridiculous training camp, making all these plays, game-winning touchdowns, but see ya for a guy that, if we're going to agree, has bad character or work ethic, whatever. Like, something doesn't add up with the entire situation. I don't know who's at fault. You want to split it down the middle, half Mims, half the Jets. Something just feels off with it.
There's something definitely wrong, but it's been since Salah got here. But he's been in the doghouse since Salah got here, so it's got to be something. So, but Calvin Jackson, you hopefully he makes a practice squad. Hopefully he gets there. Like I'm not like some of these guys. It's hard to get mad until you see that they're not on the practice squad and they go somewhere else. Then you're like, all right, now we truly lost them. Like with Streveler, Calvin Jackson. Right now, Zonovan Knight's been saved, which is fine. Like P. Ryan, I don't care about.
Even Irvin Charles, I think he's somebody that they're definitely going to try to sneak on the practice.
Yeah, but so then you go to tight end position now, which I was excited, dude. I think Cager on this team is a very good weapon to have, especially if at some point you go down to 5 wide receivers. I think they will, and Mims gets traded. I mean, that's Wesco, good blocker, always hurt. But now you have, Ruckert, Cager, Conklin and Uzama. Dude, that's 4 good weapons for your offense.
I feel like that's one of the few position groups, not to sound negative, where like you look at a player like Cager who legitimately performed and earned his spot. Like you can point to some other spots and say, like, why didn't this guy make it? It looked like he performed. Well, Lawrence Cager, he balled out all summer.
Yep.
He got his opportunities in the preseason games. He played well. So I'm glad he's here. And even Saleh today, he was praising him as a willing blocker, as a slow receiver, but a fast tight end. So he seems like a versatile option that can fill in wherever you need him.
Yeah. So the tight end group is exciting. That's probably the most talent the Jets have had this position in years, dude. And it's probably not even close. Offensive line I think, is a work in progress because Udoga's gone, McDermott's gone. And if Joe Douglas is knowing anything, he's got to go find offensive line depth because you have nothing behind the tackles. It's a legitimate problem. George Fant's coming off an injury. You know what I mean? You can't take this chance here, man.
How do you not question like why they waited so long? I mean, this has been something we've been talking about all summer. Like we were having a conversation about Dwayne Brown as a backup before Becton got hurt. So then Becton goes down. You're not getting him back for the year. You signed Dwayne Brown, but then it's like, okay, who's next in line? And right now you have a 4th-round pick in Mitchell, who you don't want to see on the field, ideally. And then who else? So all this time that we've been giving all these reps to Udoga and Grant Hermans and all these other guys, like you couldn't have made a move, somebody else. Like if you really knew that they weren't the answer, there's nobody that we could have brought in.
Yeah, the tackle depth is concerning, man. It's legitimately concerning. You have
even if they make a move, like sorry to cut you off, even if they make a move now, like they have 2 weeks to learn the playbook in case they're needed for week 1, and in case Fant goes down, who is coming off surgery this offseason.
It's like Dwayne Brown's young.
Exactly. Like there's a good chance that third tackle is going to be needed. So
No, I mean I think over the next 2 days is going to be the primary thing is find offensive tackle depth. You have to, man. You really have to. Then you go. There's Tyrone. What's up, man? So now we'll go to the defensive side of the ball now. So on defense, I mean, it's interesting because there's a lot of talent there and a lot of improvement. But then, we'll start with the corners first because I'm disappointed. I genuinely don't understand what they're doing. But until they make moves over the next couple of days, we'll figure it out. Because right now you have no backup slot corner. And your other corner, your 6th corner, or wherever he is, Justin Hardy, he's not a corner. He's a special teams guy.
Yep.
So now you're pretty thin, dude. You're really thin. And I don't understand, I thought Guidry was decent. I'm not saying he's a starter, but you had like a solid guy that played well at spurts, and he's ridiculously young. So that seems like a good guy to add to the mix here. I mean, what do you think
either Joe Douglas has a move in mind, or they know that Eccles or Bryce Hall or somebody's able to fill that slot role if Michael Carter goes down. Because I mean, I kind of agree with you. It was either between Javelin Guidry and you prioritized, having a backup in the slot, or Isaiah Dunn, who I thought played pretty well over the last 2 years, undrafted free agent. They gave him a lot of money last year. I thought he was a solid option if you wanted somebody else as insurance on the outside. But to cut both of them right now and to only have Justin Hardy back there, who's not going to play corner, you're pretty much limited to 2 backups on the outside and really nobody with experience in the slot. So I think Joe Douglas has to make a move there.
Yeah, man. Tyler, what are your thoughts about the corner?
I really was shocked myself. I thought Gitry would make it. And we talked about that Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I really thought he would make it. I didn't see them. That's the one guy I really thought would make it. I thought we would actually keep, Bryce Hall, and we'll also keep Eccles. You know what I'm saying? I figured that would be the mix right there because you have no backup. So he has to be making a move, man. Like, listen, we have 11 D linemen. So, I mean, he has to be making a move somewhere. Somebody's going to be gone somewhere. I'm kind of leery of it going in with Michael Carter. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, Bryce Hall or Eccles can fill that slot position. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening at all. So you got to have a guy in mind. But the kid, what's his name? Tony
Adams.
Yeah, we'll get to that next time. He's a safety.
That's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah, no. So yeah, we'll say safety is to last. So I mean, the corners, I think that's another move. We said the offensive tackles definitely need, slot corners definitely, and there's a bunch of them out there now because the cuts are coming fast and furious. There's 3 or 4 that are on the list that would definitely stick out. So then you go defensive line, which is interesting as well because it seems like Saleh went with his old reliables and Solomon Thomas, Vinny Curry, guys like that, over players like Tanzel Smart, Jonathan Marshall, or Zuniga, which I get it. These are your system guys, your veteran leaders, all that stuff like that. If you get these guys on your practice squad, not so bad. If they go somewhere else, that's kind of annoying because probably these guys aren't going to be here next year. You know what I mean? Like, Curry's not going to be here next year. That's what do you think, Prime Time?
Well, as I say, throw Bradley and I in there as well. You can make a
Yep.
case.
Yep.
The three guys that you mentioned plus Bradley and I, like those were four of our best defensive linemen all summer.
Yep.
So kind of going back to the whole point with Mims and a few other topics,
Yep.
like how much value was placed on the actual game reps in preseason? Clearly, not a whole lot. I mean,
None.
they're basing it
And
off
Vinny Curry was hurt half training camp. It seemed like.
Yeah, pretty much. And
exactly. So I mean, like just as far as like the culture, the identity, like everything that Rob Saleh is trying to instill, you could certainly have some questions there, just based on some of these decisions. But Tyrone, your thoughts?
no, I feel the same way you feel. I mean, I did not see that coming at all. Anai played well. Smart played really, really well. I thought Smart had a really good chance of making the team.
Me too.
Marshall as well. I mean, maybe, man, hoping to make these guys make the practice squad. But, what blew me out of the water was we kept 11 defensive linemen. Like, that's a lot.
I was being generous when I said 10.
No, it's actually 11. It's 11, and I was really shocked with that. I didn't understand the math in that, but I'm not sure that's going to be the final
Me neither.
final line. Yeah, because there's no way you can keep. I think you guys said I missed the offensive part of it, but you got 8 offensive linemen and you got 11 defensive linemen. There's no way that's going to happen like that. So you're going to be definitely adding somebody else. And who's the odd man out? Is it Solomon Thomas? Is it Vinny Carey? I mean, which one of those guys?
And the other thing is like Nathan Shepard's still finding his way on the team too. Like Nathan Shepard's still here. Like like it's good, Tyrone.
But I think you keep Shepard to stop the run. You know what I'm saying? I think Shepard's probably a little bit better than Thomas at stopping the run. That's kind of the only reason I think he really found a home. But it's kind of surprising that that the guys that we thought were going to actually be there are not there. You know what I'm saying? I thought Smart played really, really well in all 3 preseason games. He really played well. He jumped at us all summer long. You know what I'm saying? You guys have been raving about him from the live practice you guys went to and what we've seen on tape. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hopefully these guys clear waivers and go in the practice squad. But, I was shocked today, man. I was really I was dumbfounded.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's like, I think some of the cuts that they make, from roster adjustments, it could come from the defensive line, maybe because it's hard. It's weird because we were at 3 or 4 practices. We watched all the games. And you're like, all right, and I don't know nothing offense on Solomon Thomas or Vinny Curry, but we didn't really see him do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like when you watch these young guys playing their asses off and making plays, they're young, they're healthy. They're like, all right, but Sal's the defensive guru, so you got you know what? We'll give him the benefit of doubt, I guess, for now until things don't go right. Because last year's defense was
between Solomon Thomas, Nathan Shepard, and Vinny Curry. When you look at the production from Bradley and I, Tanzel Smart, Jonathan Marshall, like the way that those guys were winning their matchups, you got to put faith, I guess, some faith in what they're seeing every day and, some of the veteran experience that they're choosing to keep. But again, as far as sending that message, as far as the competitive level every day and guys actually earning their spot by playing well, I mean, what message does that send if you're a Tanzel Smart, the way he's played the last 2 years?
There's some interesting conversations.
Anai and Smart play well. I mean,
Anai's definitely going to. He's going to find a spot on the 53.
I hope not, man. I'm hoping he makes it to the practice squad, man. But I'm Smart. Both of them guys both play well, man. So I'm shocked with that. I mean, Solomon, I don't know if his time is over. Listen, when you're playing late in the preseason game, when you're playing in the fourth quarter, Solomon, I understand with Vinny Carey, and I understand why they keep Vinny Carey just because he's a solid veteran, set the edge, that kind of guy, great locker room guy, coach guy. I understand. Listen,
bro,
I mean, that's the only thing I can think. That's the only reason
I get he's a set the edge guy. He's a great his comeback story is phenomenal. Like I'm happy he's healthy. I'm happy he's able to be back playing football. But if you're looking at a young rebuilding Jets defense and you have young rebuilding players here, and you're letting them go in favor of veteran guys that are not going to be here next year.
Yeah.
And how much of a drop-off is there from Vinny Curry to these other guys? Is there a lot?
And not for nothing, dude. Do we really want to see Vinny Curry stealing reps from Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens this year? And even Bryce Huff, I'll throw him in there as young guys that can be part of your future as legitimate pass rushers. Like, I want to see those 3 opposite Carl Lawson as much as possible. I don't want to see Vinny Curry in there that much. As great of a leader as he might be, let's find out what we have for the future going forward.
And I'm going to be honest, Tyson. You actually make a really good point though. Like, why not? They're not going to be here next year. Why not have the young guys play? That kind of makes sense. Because because you're giving these guys a year experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
I'm hoping. I'm hoping they make the practice squad, and then as the season plays out, and there's going to be injuries. We know that these guys find their way in their team, and then this conversation's moot. We don't give a shit. Yeah. You go to the linebacker group. I mean, Sherwood makes the team, which is good. Najral Dean's out. I mean, Quan Alexander, no surprise there. I mean, I think the linebacker group, is pretty much what we know. And I guess you're kind of comfortable with Quincy Williams, Mosley, Sherwood, and Quan, right?
Any concern with only having 4 linebackers, though?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm telling
especially when Quan Alexander, I mean, he's got a history of injuries. Sherwood's coming off surgery. So
And Mosley's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Are you guys shocked that Nasruddin didn't make it though?
What's that?
I mean, are you shocked that
really.
Nasruddin didn't make
A
it?
little bit. Last year, I thought he looked better than Sherwood. I thought he looked
Yeah,
more athletic, a little bit faster.
Yep.
This year,
Absolutely.
Sherwood looked good though. I'll give him that. I thought.
I think they're thinking he's like a practice squad guy. I think that's they're kind of hoping that they cut him. Then
Yeah.
he's back tomorrow.
Because he really looked good. I mean, listen, he looked better last year than he did this year. I will say that. He looked fast, like he picked up the offense faster. But I still think that he knows the system and the guy's flexible. The guy can cover. I don't know.
Yep.
He's still young, man. I like the kid, man. So I was kind of shocked that he was gone, and I'm shocked that we only had 4 linebackers. Listen, it has to be more moves made. It
Yep.
has to be. I mean, you can't go in the season with 4 linebackers. It's just
Yep.
not going to work. And
They're gonna be
2
playing
as
a lot
a
of 3 safety packages and shit like that.
yeah.
See
Well,
Ashton Davis
yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
right, yeah,
I mean, that's why I'm saying like this is like the first day of all the chaos. You have another 2 or 3 days. They're gonna make a lot more
Yeah.
moves, and then you figure out, okay, what's our final roster as we get ready for the Ravens in a week. So now we go to the position that I'll say this: we say Sal is a defensive guy. We say all these things, and I'm only gonna go by. I'm just a fan. Let me just start by this: I'm just a fan. I'm not like Joe Blewett. I don't study all the film, X's and O's, or anything else. I don't go watch the tape all the time like everybody else. I'm just a fan that drinks beer and watches football. All I know is I don't know how Will Parks and Pinnock are cut, and Ashton Davis is still here. And I get the feel-good story of Adams. I get it. But we also watched him, bro. And we were laughing at the things he was doing. Literally, oh, look at that angle, look at that missed tackle, look at this, look at that. The safety position is Jordan Whitehead and a bunch of unknowns. And I'm going to say Joyner is an unknown because he hasn't played in 2 years and he has health issues.
He hasn't looked good when he has.
No, and he hasn't.
Nope.
So your Pinnock, who everybody loves, solid praised him for friggin' a year and a half now. Will Parks, who's thumping, hitting everybody, doing all kinds of good things. Those guys are out. You're going to go to undrafted free agent and Ashton Davis, who is a great athlete, who can do backflips, also can't tackle and takes terrible angles.
Yep.
But that's just me, though. That's all I know.
Dude, this one just defies logic for me. I saw the first alert when Will Parks got cut. I was like, all right, that's a surprise. And then all of a sudden, Jason Pinnock, 10 minutes later, he's gone too. I'm like, based on what? I mean, there is nothing that you can go off of. Training camp, any practice, the game. Like, save all the bullshit about work ethic or playbook. I'm sorry. Like, if you're basing it on what these guys are actually doing on the field, like it's night and day.
Yep.
The angles that both of those guys take that have made it. Tony Adams might have a lot of intangibles that are great to work with. They might be concerned about sneaking him on the practice squad. Is he ready to fucking play right now? Is he better than what we just cut? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Dude,
and the thing is, the thing about Tony Adams, like they kept saying, "Oh, the special teams. Special teams is great." You know what you need? You need starting safeties because after Whitehead, what's Joyner? That's it. Like there's nothing else.
Isn't that why we kept Preston Hardy? Isn't that why we kept Jeff Smith? How many fucking special teamers do we need?
Hey, listen, and I want to say this right here, man. I do not want to see Ashton Davis on the field, bro.
Nope,
if somebody gets hurt and he has to fucking go in, it's an automatic loss, bro. Listen, man, and I don't care how great of an athlete he is. The angles that he takes on this has been consistent. Like this is something that he's been doing over.
Right.
He's been here 3 years. In 3 years, he's done the same shit. He has not improved, not one iota. So what are you watching? What are you seeing from this guy that makes you say that this? Listen, I know Pinnock had a few errors in the summer, but played solid. Great
Bro, he was
tackler,
Tyrone. He was playing with the ones.
Absolutely.
Like it's not. This is.
So let me. Whose decision is this? Is this Joe Douglas or is this the coaching staff? Because you heard Coach Salas say today. You said that there was some infighting, right? He made sure to go out of his way so that idiots like us don't blow it out of proportion. But he said that there was some good fighting about which guys to keep and which moves to make. So do you think Joe Douglas wanted to get rid of his draft pick? Probably not.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see Ashton Davis run with the ones at all this summer? Because I have not.
Nope.
Exactly. So how is this guy better than Peanut?
I don't get it. But and that's why it's like you look at this, and it's funny because prime time. There was a couple of years we were at training camp every day, dude. We were there all the time, watch all these practices. Like so you could see tangible evidence. Like, hey, listen, this guy's struggling, not doing this. But they were giving increased time to Will Parks with the 1s and 2s, increased time to Pinnock there. They were there all the time. So you're going to say, you know what? We don't want you guys that have been playing with the starters. We're going to go with guys with the 4th string guy, the 3rd string guy. Like
And
what?
Parks played great.
And
man.
that's the same
Parks
shit with
played
Denzel
great.
Mims. He was the 3rd and 4th string guy, but now they're telling us he's one of their best 53 and he should be out there. Like
it doesn't
the
make any
way that
sense,
they've
man.
handled some of these position groups and some of the decisions
Yeah.
they've made, including the backup tackle, I don't understand it. I know there's
you know
moves to be made, but to this point right now, it feels weird.
And you know what's really crazy? And I'm gonna be really honest with you. We were a better team before our 53-man roster cut. That's how I feel. Like I really feel like seriously, man. Like I mean I can't question Joe D because I know it's will be some other moves made.
Yep.
But what I'm looking at right now is not the football team. The team that we had prior to this was better than what we have right now, and that's crazy.
Well,
Like,
you figure
Tyrone, that's the best point you've made in 2 years.
it is.
The first stringers and second stringers lost every game in preseason, and they were saved by who? Chris Trevler, Calvin Jackson, Bradley and I. And all those guys are fucking gone. So the feel-good locker room vibes, like I was talking about, right, with the whole winning and losing thing, those feel-good locker room vibes, they were brought to you by guys that are now no longer part of your team.
But see, I'm not even like I'm more just focused on it's just how they're going to handle the veterans. How are they going to play favorites with the veteran players, or like it's just and I'm like to me it's the defensive side of the ball to me is all Saleh because this is his baby, his defense, his players, his scheme. So this year, to me, he's got no fucking excuses this year. None. This better be a top 15 defense or just blow this shit out your ass because these are your guys. Like you've chosen veterans over young guys. Right now, your safety position is a weakness. Your corner is ridiculously thin with Hardy and no backup at slot. So now Joe Douglas for the next 2 to 3 days got to figure this out and get it cleaned up because obviously not every roster is going to be perfect. We understand that. But the NFL is all about injuries and how you overcome and what your roster is made of and depth. Right now, they have no depth at tackle. They have no depth at safety, and they have no depth at corner. Those are just facts, dude.
And linebacker.
And linebacker could be concerned too.
Absolutely.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Something needs to be said. For all the great work that Joe Douglas has done, wiping everything clean, getting us turned around in the right direction, which I applaud him for. I think the last 2 years have kind of set us on the right path. But the single biggest reason why we're talking about this year being a 6 or 7 win year and why the Jets aren't ready to compete 9 or 10 wins, the single biggest reason for that is what?
Yep.
What do you think? 2020 draft, you have nobody that is on the field ready to start for you. Nobody.
Nope. None.
The few players that are still here, they're backups and reserves or a punter.
Yep.
You have nobody entering.
Who isn't that good, actually? The punter isn't really that good.
Year 3 from that draft that's giving you anything.
Nope.
That is the single biggest reason. So.
And listen, but this is the point I want to make too as well. Like I thought we had more depth than what we have, and you take the lesser player, which makes no sense to me. That's what scares me more than anything. Like I can understand. Okay, I can understand the Nazarene thing. I can understand that. Bring them back on the practice squad, but the safety position, I have no clue because we don't know what Jordan is. Jordan has not been healthy. He got hurt the first, second, third series of the first game. We see him no more. He hasn't played this summer at all. So what are we seeing here? So if he gets hurt game 1, who's going in?
That's the question.
I'd
have a lot more confidence in Pinnock being back there than fucking Ashton Davis. I can tell you that much.
I'm just so confused how we got to this conversation when 2 weeks ago, we were raving about all the tough decisions, all the great depth that we have, and it's like all those guys just got cut, just like that. Boom, done.
It's the only thing you got to hope for is that they make the practice squad, and they're one play away from being called up and they're on a team.
Tyson.
Pinnock's
not gonna make Pinnock's not making the practice squad. Somebody's gonna pick him up, and then Dunn.
I think Pinnock, Dunn, and Anai are all gone. I don't think they'll make it.
Doesn't it bother you though? Even if they're replacing these guys with other guys, with the high waiver priority, you just invested 2 months with OTAs, mini camp, training camp. If you have a competent coaching staff with guys that have some ability, shouldn't you have these players ready to play in your system right now? Yeah. Coaching's everything.
We'll see, man.
If you weren't able to get these guys ready and you have to wipe it clean and bring in 6 or 7 new guys for depth, what is this coaching staff doing right now?
And when they got rid of Gentry, I thought they were going to keep Dunn and move Dunn to the backup slot. That's what I thought they were going to do. And when I saw Dunn get cut, I was like, what the fuck?
I heard Saleh saying it today about this is the time of year of the roster juggling and everything. I'm like, why does it have to be like that? Why can't you have guys that are just ready to play in your system that you develop, that you stick with? They learn your defense, they learn your offense. Like that's why Belichick succeeds every year. He's got guys that buy
his draft the last 3 years have been terrible.
That's what I'm saying, though. He's drafted awfully, but like he still finds guys that can play in his system.
Yeah,
that's what coaching does.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's interesting, man. This is there you go. Jomo doesn't like it. I mean, hey, right now it's like I'm in wait and see mode. I'm waiting to see till Friday. I want to see how they upgrade these positions because now it's like any Jet fan can realize what the where the holes are, where there's concerns with depth. Like I don't give a fuck about Strevler. I don't care about Mike White. Don't give 2 shits about that. The running back position is a concern for me because if they can't pick up the blitz and the quarterback's getting his ass beat, that's a problem. So to me, they're taking a calculated risk with that. If one of the tackles go down, Max Mitchell's not ready to play. That's a legitimate problem because the whole thing we're worried about is the quarterback, right? This whole season is about Zach Wilson playing very well at a high level. The first thing is protecting him. If you suffer any injuries at running back or tackle, it can be a tough spot there, man.
I missed the offensive part, but listen, I just want to touch on this. I'm not mad that Douglas gone. I can't say I'm sorry that he's gone. I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Tyron, here's the point with that. We all agree McDermott and Douglas suck. We knew that last year. They brought them back this year. Fine. Know what they didn't do? And Primetime mentioned it earlier. Know what they didn't do? Bring anybody else in.
Yeah, got a point.
Like, where the fuck are the left tackles? Where are the right tackles? Where are all these players at? Max Mitchell's a project, dude.
That was my point about Dwayne Brown. Like when we were talking about bringing him in initially, it was as a backup behind Mekhi Becton. Once Becton went down, like you need.
And Riley Reef was the other guy.
Yeah. Hey, Primetime, I got a question though. Would you look at Leatherwood from Oakland on the waiver wire?
Kind of surprising that a first round pick goes unclaimed after his first year. I mean, I know there was like money involved, and I guess you got to claim.
$6 million. That's it. $6 million for 3 more years, 2 more years, something like that. Yeah.
I think it speaks a lot that nobody claimed him. I don't know. Yeah.
Another question. What about the safety from Baltimore? How you feel about him?
Tony Jefferson.
I'd be all about that.
I won him 3 years ago.
Well, you might get your chance, Tyson. Because listen,
typical Jets get him 3 years too late, but yeah.
I really think Joe D's making a move. I think that he's gonna. I think by tomorrow he's gonna pick. He has to. It's impossible.
They've got to put claims in, dude. They're gonna have to.
Bro. They have to. Yeah.
All right, so we will go.
I had a little.
What's that?
No, I had a little bit of frustration out. Sorry if I was too negative.
No, I'm not. Listen, I was disappointed, man. But I'm like, all right, I see what you're doing. If you find a way to get Pinnock on your practice squad, cool. I'm gonna let it all play out. But when they start going other way, it's like you just gotta let it see what happens, man. I don't think he's gonna be back though.
And I do want to say this though, man. Yo, big up the Cager, man. Like I know probably you guys probably already went over this already, but I just want to say, man, yo, listen, I was shocked. I was shocked that he you know what I'm saying, he didn't get cut, and I'm glad he didn't.
For now.
He bring it for now. And also I was listen, the Coleman situation blew my mind. Like, I'm sorry, man. I would have took Coleman over Ty Johnson day of the week. You know what I'm saying? Now Bam, I would have actually tried to stash Bam on my practice squad. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I would put him on the roster. I don't know if someone would have picked him up. He didn't show a whole lot unless he showed a lot doing those intermittent scrimmages. Maybe that's something that maybe Atlanta or Giants might have saw. They might have liked or whatever. But I don't know if I keep four running backs.
Well, like there's certain positions, like you mentioned, defensive line 11, 4 running backs doesn't really make any sense. Like there's like 3 or 4 position groups. I think that's where you have like your extra weight. Where it's like when you start making moves, that's where you're gonna start cutting it from. So it's like the Cager story is awesome. Like I love the versatility and flexibility of tight end group. I think it's phenomenal, dude. Rucker, all these guys. But are we gonna keep 4? I'm not sure. And
are you sure you have somebody that can do the fullback role too right now?
Is it Rucker?
We're assuming it's going to be Rucker. Is he ready for that?
I don't think he's ready for that.
Well, Wesco
was talking about like how complex the playbook is. So I'm just wondering if he's been able to grasp everything that he needs to.
Yeah, I got your message, bro. I'll message you back tomorrow. I definitely will talk to him. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm just curious to see how Joe Douglas approaches this, who he claims, who they get on the practice squad. Because I saw there was like 3 or 4 lists of like surprise cuts and players that should be on it. It was like Anai, Dunn, Pinnock, like 3 or 4 Jets were honored. Like, what? These are going to be coveted players. So we'll see.
It just makes you realize that we thought we wasn't as far away at player-wise, and they just wiped out the players that we thought were going to really be able to be those players back there on the back end of your roster that you need when guys get hurt, they can come up and play. And then it's like we're going to bring somebody in after, I know it's going to be a veteran, but that's just, I don't know. I'm just lost with that one, bro.
This is true, man. Primetime's been angry for a week now. I don't know what the hell these days. All right, so we will go to the calls. I shared the link. We will go to our good friend, our fellow content creator, Bubs.
Bubs,
Who isn't it?
what's going on, bro?
What's up, Bubs?
Thanks for having me on.
What's up, man?
Well, my big takeaway is just when us Jet fans thought we had it all figured out, they find a way to shock us
Who's on
again.
this?
You got that right.
I'm pretty frustrated. I mean, I will start off with a positive. I want to get to the secondary too because I think that's the most like head scratching thing. I like Tyrone. You said it. I was really happy to see Cager make the roster. Wesco. I know some people with the fullback and stuff, and I understand there's that concern of it, and especially if Ty Johnson's not able to pick up the blitz, who's really going to be your guy that's going to be able to help with the blocking and stuff. But Cager, like you guys mentioned, went into the offseason, kind of realized, look, my future with this team's not going to be as a receiver. Built up, got himself into tight end shape, came into camp, great camp, put in the work. Like you like to see that type of stuff out of guys. So that was good to see. The safety is it's just ridiculous. Like I genuinely feel bad for like Pinnock and Parks, especially Will Parks, for a guy that's like, he last season got picked up 3 games. Made was a nice impact player for the 3 games we had him. Kind of picked him up off the side of the street, wasn't with the team, and then made an impact. They brought him back, put in the work. Came into camp, did well. Like he's shown so much more than Ashton Davis. Like Ashton Davis has shown nothing. He hasn't even shown any like progress. Like it's not like he's kind of gotten better. Like all he does is miss tackles. Like you said, take terrible angles.
Yep.
He runs like he's got ants in his pants and his hair's on fire. Like he's just. He's so hard to watch, and like
and Pinnock's new to the position too.
Exactly,
He's learning the position, and he still looks better than him.
Yeah, and he was getting, like you guys said, obviously running with the first team means nothing at this point. It's just, It's so frustrating because it's like, I just don't know. And then Tony Adams, like cool story, undrafted free agent, but is he better than Penix and Will Parks? I don't think so. Again,
like the thing is, like right now with Tony Adams, like if somebody gets hurt week 1, if Joyner goes down or somebody goes down, is he ready to go on the field and play right now?
Yep. No. And Joyner hasn't played a full season since 2015.
Yep. Exactly.
And he's way older. He played 1 game last year, not even.
Yep. Not even the whole game.
Exactly. He got hurt. And it's just like, and in the cornerback, you got, Guidry was nice piece for us. Like he was quick, fast, like backup slot. You don't have that now. Hardy, like you guys mentioned, it just makes no sense. It's frustrating because like you thought you had all this depth and you feel like all this good depth's now like gone. And it's almost like, I felt like we had more, like, I felt like there was a lot better depth. And I want to ask you guys if you feel this way too. Like, and I understand cuts is going to happen and there's going to be less players. I get that. But I feel like there was better talent prior to cuts than there is now, especially in the secondary. Like, you got rid of your two, you can make the argument Pinnock and Parks are more reliable than Joyner just because of the fact that they're more healthy. You got rid of them too, and you're relying on an undrafted free agent and a guy that has shown you nothing in his 2 years with the team. You guys feel that way too?
I agree with you, dude. Completely agree. Yeah, prime time. I agree with you.
No, completely agree with you. I think a lot of the matchups that we were looking at, like, who are you keeping on the back end, Javelin Guidry or Isaiah Dunn? Well, both of them are gone now. But who are you keeping, Will Parks or Pinnock? Both of them are gone. Like, a lot of the great depth, like you just said, that we were talking about, for whatever reason, whether, they're looking at somebody else that got claimed or they're just trying to sneak these guys on the practice squad, keep extra guys at other positions. I don't know what, but just something feels off about some of these decisions.
Yeah, and the answer KR real quick. We understand the rosters aren't finalized, so we give the caveat. We'll see what's going to happen in 2 days. Yeah. As of today, we're going to say, as of the cuts happen, this is our reaction. If they make the practice squad tomorrow, okay, it makes it a little bit more easy to tolerate. But it's okay to question Joe Douglas in the approach, though. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. It's just.
But isn't it easier, in theory, to sneak if you wanted to get Pinnock on the practice squad? Wouldn't it be easier to do that in 2 days when other guys or other teams have settled their rosters, as opposed to right now where he's like front and center? Like Ashton Davis, I mean, you worried about storing him on the practice squad? Like, why is he still here right now in 53 and not Pinnock?
Absolutely.
Regardless of whatever moves might be coming, that still just doesn't make sense.
And just to answer this one real quick, we're not saying the starting position suffered. Maybe, it's like your depth at safety is a concern. Corner and tackle is a legitimate concern, man. If you, Jomo, if you don't think that, man, you're just not paying attention, dude. Seriously.
Well, I feel, like I said, we didn't get worse starting. We got worse with the depth. I feel like in certain positions. So too. Like, and you're like Dwayne Brown and George Font coming off of injury, and Dwayne Brown just turned 30. Today was his birthday. What was it? Or
37.
33, 37. Yeah, geez, I'm way off.
37.
37. 4 years off. But yeah, like you're relying on those guys. It's frustrating. It's just, I don't know. And again, I'm not going to sit here and crush Douglas. He still has time, but he does have work to do. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I have a couple more. Yeah, what were you saying?
No. The point I wanted to make, Bubs, and you made the point I made earlier, that, you know what I'm saying, I feel like prior to the cuts, we were a better football team. And listen, I'm not bashing anybody, and I know, you know what I'm saying, because it's still early. But am I shocked that the route that he went with the safeties? Absolutely. I mean, you know, to me, that's the most appalling thing. Every other cut I can kind of understand, but certain those two positions, that just bothered me. Those two players. I mean, and then even with the Dunn situation, I mean, I just thought that Dunn, you have no backup slot corner. Nobody. There's nobody on the roster that can cover that.
But the other thing too is, Bubs, what do you think about? I mean, obviously keeping Mims is the answer. Now you're not going to cut him. You got to wait to hopefully trade him, right? That's everybody. I think agrees with that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I was hoping. I mean, again, another like feel good story. If Mims did get traded, I was hoping that Calvin Jackson would possibly make the team.
Yep.
Just because, like, feel good story, had a great camp, showed out. Caught the 2 game-winning touchdowns from Strevler, who will forever be a Jet legend for that free season. But I look, you're not going to release Mims because he's going to get picked up. He's going to get picked up because there's some people that wanted to trade for him. If you get rid of him, he's going to pick up. I was hoping to see.
But the interesting thing is that I saw Connor Hughes say it too, is that, now the way Mims approached his trade request could actually hurt him because he's saying, I want to go somewhere where I'm a top 3 guy and I could play. Yep. A lot of teams would be like, listen, dude, you weren't a top 3 guy with the Jets. You didn't really show enough last year to be that guy. What are we trading in value to make you come? He may not find that situation anywhere else. We're going to guarantee be a starting receiver day one. Who's going to guarantee Mims that right now?
Yeah. The only person I could think of giving him more reps would be Matt Rule, just because he coached him in college. But even they just
traded for somebody.
Yeah, and then you also Chenal, and they also have DJ Moore still, so they still have some solid pieces there too.
Yep.
I just want to get your guys' take. I know the Ravens safety could be an option. Do you think they could possibly look at I botch his first name every time, but Tart from San Francisco got cut?
Yeah,
but the guy that dropped the interception last year in the NFC.
But the question I have is, they could have signed him as a free agent. They decided not to. Why would they want him now?
Yeah,
Tyler knows him too, so you would think like that would be a phone call that would be made.
That's the only question I have.
Yeah, it'd be something like a Quan Alexander signing, if anything, at latest in training camp. And then my other thing is, you think they're going to go after another linebacker? Because you guys nailed it on the head. Like the 4 linebackers with Quan Alexander, who brings a lot of energy. I'm excited to see what he can do. He's got injury history. Another guy that I don't think has played a full season in forever. Yep. And then, CJ Mosley is getting older. Sherwood coming off surgery, and even too, he's good, but I don't know if you could fully, rely on him to step up big if there would be an injury. Quincy Williams is pretty, I guess you could say, consistent in terms of staying on the field. He's not been around for very long, but could you see them going after another linebacker? And there's like anybody out there that you possibly see?
Dude. You have to, man. I wouldn't be surprised you see 2 on the practice squad. You're gonna have to, man. Because that's usually a practice. The practice. They're usually special teams guys too, linebackers, right? Yeah. I mean, that's
at least 1, if not 2, unless they're just planning on going like a lot of nickel and dime, a lot of safeties.
Yeah, because then you got what now? You think Najaldine will clear?
He should.
I think so. I think so.
I would say Najaldine will clear too. And then, other than that, there wasn't too many surprises. I mean, I guess I don't know if there's. I don't know if you're going to say, the Coleman, Ty Johnson thing's interesting. I don't know if you're going to see, is there any guys that you think that are like Tanzel, Smart, you think they're all going to get picked up, the defense line?
I think Bradley and Nye's definitely going to get picked up.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Smart might sneak through. I think Marshall might sneak through. But I think Dunn is gone. I think Pinnock is gone.
I think Anaya is gone. I think Pinnock's gone.
Pinnock definitely.
I see those 4 guys being gone.
Yeah, and just one more thing. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I know you guys kind of touched on this earlier, but do you think Davis is? Again, I'm not saying this is true, but I want to hear your guys' take. You think Davis is on the roster because Douglas maybe didn't want to cut another one of his draft picks?
Man, if it's true, that's embarrassing, man. In this game, you can't have that kind of ego and pride, man. You got to do the best for your team, not for your ego.
I mean, he cut 3 draft picks from last year.
Yeah.
I guess he was willing to, put the ego aside and say, these are players, but is it too many if you're getting rid of your entire 2020 draft class on top of a couple guys from last year too?
It sucked. But my thing is this though, like I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like I want to know which coach was fighting for him to keep Davis with Peanut. I just would like to know who
Me
wanted
too,
that,
man.
who made that decision, who was really
Well, you
banging
wonder
the
if that's
table
just
down
Joe
for him.
Douglas saying, I want to keep my draft pick. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't want
Dude,
I
to.
don't listen, but to a guy that's better, to a guy that's not better. I mean,
And
I don't know if that's.
And just because I know the comments, but you guys are so fucking negative, all this shit. We're just scrutinizing the moves that are made. And then tomorrow, as we go through the rest of the moves, get your practice squad, then you're on to the Ravens. And we embrace it. It's okay, this is the team that we figure out how ways to win. But like, I don't understand where Joe Douglas is beyond the approach where you can't be like, we can't say this and everything he does is perfect and everything is great. Jets are going to win 10 games. Like, why can't you analyze moves and be critical of something? I don't understand. Like, it's.
And there was definitely some. Yeah, you could go, Tyrone.
No, go ahead.
Oh, there was definitely some positives too, like Bam Knight being on the roster. That's good. Lawrence Cager. There was definitely some positives, like even seeing a guy like I know Sherwood, but he had a good camp. Not him over Nazareth. I think is a smarter decision. Sherwood had the big hit. I remember in the Atlanta game in the red zone. He had a nice big blow. I don't know who it was on, but there was definitely some positives. There was definitely some just head scratching moves that you just have to hope and expect Douglas is going to.
And I think the moves that it's bothering us is because you're cutting 12-year veterans. You're cutting a second-year player in Gidry. Or guys it's like young guys. You're like, these are hopefully, or Pinnock, your guys, you hope there could be young building blocks as you move forward. Like this is your young nucleus. This is your depth. And that's what you're worried about. But I mean, like I said, in a couple of days, they could all be back. We have no idea.
Yeah, totally agree.
How's your show doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I did a video like an hour ago about the 53-man roster. So.
We have to go check it out.
Check it out, man. Check it out, boy.
Have a good night, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
Sounds a good way to start the show. Nice, good, fun conversation. Everybody's civilized.
Curious for the chat who has time to look it up. Like, what kind of contract do you think Jefferson would be looking at? Because the Jets don't exactly have a ton of cap space right now. I know there's ways to manipulate it. And
Pinnock wasn't good.
What?
Okay.
What?
I always think you guys are too positive. I guess that's how negative I am.
No, I mean, what's crazy though? Like this is the bad part. Like, nobody's being negative. I mean, just a few decisions that we didn't like. That what I'm saying.
But see, and to answer this question, the question is, do you guys think these reactions are amplified and hurt more because it's the first time we've had real depth in a long time? It is. It's depth.
That's absolutely, man.
But it is depth. But it's also there's a young players that you're starting to buy into. And you think you have something there. Then you see them go, and you're like, all right. You're going to cut them. Who are you cutting them for? What's the replacement? What's your option after that? Because we've seen when a team has no depth, what the aftermath of that is. We've already seen it firsthand. So that's you're concerned. You're finding your areas of concern. You're discussing it. That's all this really is.
Tyson, listen. Listen, I'm going to ask you a question. Aston Davis is the sixth best cornerback. Safety on our team after the two we just cut. Am I right or wrong?
Dude, I don't.
Number 6. He would be number 6. He would be number 6, right? I mean,
okay. So this avatar, if Pinnock is getting burned all the time, what exactly is Davis doing? If Pinnock is getting burned, Davis is like the toast after it. Come on, man.
Can't take an angle.
And Pinnock actually changed positions too. Let's not forget that. Just like Cager did.
Listen, you can't.
Which is all the more reason to keep him on the roster too right now when you only have 5 corners. I'm like, all right, if the corner goes down, you got somebody else that can.
Yeah, man. Let's go to Mr. Birthday Boy. Yeah. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, bro.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Tyrone, you kind of stole my questions because I was gonna ask about Leatherwood and then I was gonna ask about Jefferson. I mean, those two are kind of the biggest ones. I mean, Leatherwood and I forget who said if it was you, Kevin, or you, Tyson. You mentioned like the fact that nobody wanted to kind of go after him, from being a 2021 draft pick. Like there's something there. There's something going on. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate it. I really do. I mean, I think I missed that one.
Get burnt 60%. The solid 60% rule.
But no, I think we were all bracing like we were probably going to lose a couple people that we were hoping would stick around and stuff. Go on, get it.
Uh-oh.
The wife is leaning in.
Do they know it's your birthday?
Yeah, they know it's my birthday.
We've already said happy birthday to him.
Yeah, it's happy birthday. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my.
So which cut surprised you the most?
Pinnock was a big one. Pinnock was a real big one. Pinnock and oh my God,
he's choking on his birthday.
Oh, Jesus. What's the other one?
Guidry, Coleman.
Yeah, can you sleep on the couch tonight?
He's been drinking on his birthday.
I don't even drink. I can't even use that as an excuse.
Oh, wow.
No, Guidry was a big one too. Like, I don't know. You almost.
Yo, chat crazy, bro.
I mean, you just hope that Douglas isn't trying to play this too cute, thinking he has all these roster gymnastics laid out and like thinking he's playing chess while everyone's playing checkers. You know, you have to hope that there's some kind of talks that he has planned out to make a trade for somebody. But even in that regard, you would think that maybe they would have cut bait with someone like a Rankins, like that's taken up a lot of cap space, you know? So
I agree.
It's weird. I think the most aggravating thing about it is almost everything they've done this year, you could see a reason for why they did what they did. But then this is kind of like Adam Gase and McCagnon are back here like, what are you doing? You know, like that's just the puzzling part. Like, and it's just, I think you all too, to some degree, probably, it's just like, God, we have all these steps forward. Like, please don't tell us we're taking one step forward, two steps back now, you know? And
so for you right now, like, what is the biggest area of concern? Is it like a backup tackle, slot corner, another safety?
It's safety and tackle.
Yep.
Safety and tackle. I mean, they're too drastically thin. Mims, I'm not surprised we held on to him. You know, I understand you're not gonna give him away. You know, he did show out. It wasn't with starters. It wasn't against starters. So take it for what it is. But you know, he has talent. He has it on tape. He just can't put it together anywhere near consistently. But when you have players like that receiver that the Bucs cut, Johnson,
yep,
he's a stud too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna go and trade for Mims when you could pick him up. So maybe it's just holding out hope and, you know, never wish injury on anybody. But if a team that maybe is contending gets bitten by an injury bug to the start of the season and it's too early for them to be like, hey, we can't give up on it now, you know, and like everybody that moves their chips in, like right now the Eagles seems like they're moving all their chips in with trading for the corner for
all in,
you know, from them. Yeah. And what was I don't know how true it was because I was busy with work today, so I couldn't pay attention much as I could, but supposedly the pick they traded for him was the one that they got from Seattle for Arcega-Whiteside, who Seattle just cut. So like they pretty much got a starting secondary help for a receiver that they were just going to cut but traded, and now didn't even last on Seattle. So
and Chris, I want to say something about the Leatherwood situation. I think what it was, man, I think that nobody traded for him because the money salary, but now that he's been waived, I think the Raiders have to pick up a percentage of that. And I think the only money that really is owed to him is like $6 million. And to be honest with you, no one was going to trade for the guy because they knew they were going to cut him anyway. I think that was kind of right on the wall. Yeah. I think they've been taking calls for him for a couple of weeks now. But, I mean, me, I wouldn't mind Jody picking him up on waivers. If you think about it, he's a young kid that, you know what I'm saying, that we don't have to actually use him and have a chance to work with the kid. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what was going on out there with the Raiders. They were so far gone on so much stuff. But I think he goes to Dallas, man.
Yeah, I saw Duke Manyweather say like defending him too. Like if he gets in with the right coaching, the right scheme, like that dude's just gonna flourish. And you know,
don't trust anything Duke Manyweather says.
Yeah.
So wait, let's answer a question. I just got back from rolling and getting smashed. Do we keep Cager and ship Mims? We kept Cager, but we did not ship Mims yet. And enjoy your getting smashed. Appreciate the honesty here.
I'm not surprised, and I know I mentioned this to you guys when we were at camp. Like I thought Coleman was going to go. I'm excited that we kept Bam. Johnson, I have no idea why he's still there.
You'd rather have Johnson over Coleman?
I'd rather have neither. I mean, I'd rather have Coleman over Johnson, but I'm not as high on Coleman as I think you guys are. I think he's pretty replaceable. I'd be happy if. I'm sorry, bro.
No,
I'm sorry.
Listen, wasn't he the Falcons' #1 back like 2 or 3 years ago?
I just think that
Freeman could never stay healthy.
Yeah,
I think number one that if you watch him, man, he always runs hard. He always picks up the tough yards. He picks up the blitz. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I mean, over Ty Johnson, I don't know. I wouldn't make that move.
I saw somebody. I think it was Coleman. Like we could cut him and sign him back, and like with saving us some money. So I don't know if that was a strategy or not too.
Fucking chat's killing me, man. There's certain shows where the chat can be a distraction. Time's definitely one of those things. They're in rare form right now. Holy shit, man!
But I'll leave you guys go.
Have a great birthday. What'd you have for your birthday dinner?
We went out to Olive Garden. So nothing too big.
There you go.
Came home, had some cake, opened up some presents, got a full size.
Where's our cake at?
Any jet stuff?
Huh?
We didn't get no cake.
Yeah. I got a full size authentic new helmet. Not the black one, just the regular green one. So
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and if I have room for one more birthday wish, it's just Tyson can stop slacking and come up. And
I'm trying, dude. My schedule's been off the rails.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you got your race coming up too, right?
Saturday. Yes, sir.
Good luck. How'd your fantasy draft go? How'd that work out for you?
It would have been good if me and Casamigos didn't have an interaction all Saturday afternoon. It would have been much better. But unfortunately, I decided to alter my mind before the draft, which kind of made things go a little bit differently. So,
oh man,
terrible.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday, man.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.
Have a good night, man. Enjoy your birthday.
That Casamigo is good as hell, though. Tyson.
Oh, it's so good, dude. With a little lime. Oof.
Oh my God, it's just amazing.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
And I paid the price for it for sure. But when it's 85 degrees sunny in the Jersey Shore and you're outside a tiki bar, you just fantasy football draft was the last thing on my mind at that point. So, all right,
you gotta balance it. Drinking water.
Listen, man, I'm
especially you, you're training for a race. Like you should be having that water in between.
I'm hydrated, but it's just
why is that an excuse for your poor draft?
That's only a Tyson answer, baby. I'm hydrated though.
I'm hydrated. Hydration is not an issue whatsoever. We're going to go to our voice of reason, who's going to say we're too negative.
I always say that. What's the difference if I say it now? I said it before. How are you guys?
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, man. How
Good.
you doing?
I'm doing good. We wait and see. Surprised.
Don't give me that wait and see shit.
You have to wait.
No. We want same day reactions, and then 2 days from now, like, you know what? We didn't like the move, but they did this. Now we like it.
I'm surprised. 2 things: 11 guys on defensive line. I didn't think they was going to do that, and Ashton Davis. I just don't see why he's keeping them. Sal and JD need to take the L on that because we know losing breeds winning. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
I just don't see. I just don't see.
Here comes
3
the dog.
years. 3 years he hasn't. Now dog went upstairs. 3 years of absolutely not getting better whatsoever.
Nope.
I actually probably worse. He's just. Taking bad. Oh yes, he's athletic. He's fast. But if you can't do nothing with it, what good are you? So.
Any concern about the backup tackle situation? Only having a rookie right now behind Fant and Brown.
Yeah, but I think you got 16 spots to fill in the practice squad, so you got to assume he's gonna fill that in the practice squad. You don't want to. That's a lot. 16 guys is a lot. So
I figured we'd bring in like somebody that's got some kind of experience at this point. I know there's a lot of teams that need tackles right now. They don't grow on trees, but I mean, they've known that they have an issue with depth, or at least they should have for the last, how many months.
Let's just see what's out there, what's available. I like this safety that the Ravens released, but
Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, when he was he released officially today?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it was yesterday.
So was it yesterday? So I mean,
I'm
not sure how the waiver wire works. As soon as he's waived, then it goes through rotation.
Well, he doesn't go through waivers because he's got 4+ years.
Okay.
Depends how long you're in the league.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody can sign until 12 o'clock tomorrow, regardless.
Okay, so there's a dedicated time and date that they can do. So tomorrow should be an interesting thing.
What'd you think about Ty Johnson?
Yeah, I don't get that. I'm glad that they got Knight. I think Knight was good. He's got some explosive speed, and he's big and strong. Coleman, I noticed that they try to use him as kickoff return. Maybe they were trying to find a reason to keep him, trying to give him some sort of dedicated special teams type of thing. I think his age. What's up, Jose? I think his age was a factor at this point, and plus maybe they didn't want to lose Bam Knight to waivers.
But what exactly is Ty Johnson bringing to the table?
Isn't he only like a few years younger than Coleman anyway?
What's that?
I don't think he's that much younger than Coleman anyway, Ty Johnson, right?
Ty Johnson?
I feel like Ty Johnson or Coleman.
I think there's more wear and tear on Coleman. There's a lot more wear and tear on him. Yeah.
Coleman's the better player, though. That's the problem.
I know, but I mean, if we're going to focus on running, these guys are going to take a lot of abuse, and so his chances of getting hurt again increases. And
I got a question for you, sir. How do you feel about the linebackers? Only keep it 4.
I mean, they're better than it was with Quan. Quan's a leader. He's shown it. That hit he did on the running back, that was explosive.
Yeah.
But but the 4 spots, that 11 guys on the D line, taking away 4, a spot from somebody, another position. Does that change? I don't know. I really don't know, because if we look at the 11, it kind of comes back to, is he going to do that rotation? If he's going to do that kind of rotation, 11 guys makes sense.
Still need 11?
That's a lot, man.
You can't keep 11, man. Listen,
I know.
Listen, we have 8 offensive linemen, so you're going to add a lineman, so that's going to be 9. You might get away with 10. You're not keeping 11. It's impossible.
Yeah,
we're gonna pay Quinnen Williams $12 million, Lawson $15 million, and have him on the field for 50% of the time. What's the point?
I think it was 60.
60%. It's all about 60. It's all about 60% prime time.
Yeah, I think it was that 60 was going to be
reps.
That's for his reps.
It's impossible, man. You can't keep 11 defensive
but
it's impossible.
Then you have to assume that they kept the 11th just to protect them from putting on the waiver, and then see what's on there and fill a spot with someone they pick up or someone they want back.
But let's get to the more important question here.
Yeah,
your thoughts about Mike White being on the team still?
That makes sense.
Okay,
Strevler's third. They're playing third stringers, playing with third stringers. It looks nice, it feels nice, but let's be honest. They didn't put him with first stringers, right? He didn't play with the 1s. He didn't play with the 2s. He played with the 3s. It's a feel good story, but every single one of those guys knows in this business that any given time they can get cut or get traded. It's a business, and they know it. We've seen it in Hard Knocks.
Guys Myers said that on Twitter tonight.
What's that?
Anything?
Yeah,
he said something on Twitter tonight that the NFL is a business.
Crazy ass business.
It is. You remember we watched the Hard Knocks, right? Tannenbaum was releasing guys. No animosity. You can speak to this guy. He's going to take care of you. This and that, and move on. It's they know it. They know going in. I think they're all these kids are prepared.
I agree.
Leatherwood. I just want to find out. First of all, Leatherwood shouldn't have been a first-round pick. That everyone was surprised.
Well, that's just the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. So it made him get more money for no reason. I just don't know what the reason they let him go. You know, that's is it more personality, or he just can't?
Oops. Tyron Levis?
His candle blow out? Oh, okay.
No, he's back. Now he's back. There he is. Now he's
There he
back.
is. Yeah.
Well, Ephraim, thank you for your positivity and your insight. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, listen. Winning is the only thing.
That's right.
Prime time.
Sometimes you got to remind people.
Only thing. And don't worry about what the coaches say and with the writers. The only thing that matters is wins.
That's right.
I felt much better 2 weeks ago about 2022 year of the Jets.
You've been angry all fucking week. Who you kidding, man?
Yeah. I think you're more angry because
year of the Jets. I'd say it with them right now.
I think you're pissed off because you know you're gonna have to shave that beard for school.
Yeah, thank God.
And I think
I gotta go tomorrow.
Fucking caveman.
5 months.
Yeah, 5 months gone, my friend. All right, guys, have a good one.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, sir.
Have a good night, man.
All right, so now I think we just got to go to it. What's up, man?
What's up? I thought I'd start enjoying your show by breaking in my birthday gift.
Oh, look at that. Nice
Okay,
Elijah.
I like
Is that a
that.
Browning
Elijah
Nagel
Moore.
jersey?
So you know he's getting hurt this year now.
No,
Thanks, man.
I'm only kidding. Man. Nice. Very good for you.
Yeah, no shirt.
yeah,
Looks good, bro.
yeah.
Happy
No, I thought
birthday.
I'd break in. Just finally, just made sure, just secured my transport to MetLife. So
Oh, nice.
good.
Week 1?
Okay.
Yep, week 1 home opener.
Very cool.
Watching
going?
Ravens Jets and hopefully seeing some beat down of some birds.
So what time do you get to the stadium usually?
This is only my second trip, Garrett. So I'll probably look to get there probably maybe 1 to 2 hours before the game.
The bigger question is, are you playing Tyson in beer pong?
I'll whoop his ass.
Yeah, you will. I'm a novice. I will deny.
See?
And afterwards, are you going to provide live musical entertainment for all of the Jets?
I'm not bringing in.
No, don't bring your guitar. We'll be fine.
No,
we'll be fine with music.
We'll be okay
No.
without it.
I don't want
We'll be
somebody
okay.
to jacket. I've got like a.
Yeah, somebody would definitely steal it. They would definitely probably get taken from you.
Yeah, no. I spent a lot of time.
That was the
A lot
idea.
of time. I built that thing from a piece of junk in a thrift shop. From a piece of. All right, I'll bring ghost peppers. Do you guys want to do?
Oof.
That's the parking lot content that we need.
Yes. Yeah, you bring the Tyrone will eat them.
Nah, Tyrone will not.
All right, how many?
I watch
All right,
you.
look in the comments. How many you guys want me to bring? Well, I can bring up to 5. So you guys want me to bring 5?
I want to
5
see you
ghost
eat
peppers?
5. Hey,
Bro, I
Big
want to
Dog,
enjoy the game.
Can you eat 5 of them?
No, I'm not. I'm not into that. Bring people who want to try one.
Don't be trying to poison our tailgate.
I'm not gonna poison any tailgate. Anybody who's man enough to take one can go.
That's
give
about
me
me,
one.
man.
I don't know.
Fuck that. Hey, man.
So what are your thoughts on the cuts, man? Anything surprise you today?
Yeah, I'm surprised Ashton Davis is still here. There's only one thing he's good at, and that's picking off Tua.
That's it. Fair point.
Play him twice a year.
The only time he should be playing is in the Dolphins game, so he gets his obligatory Tua pick.
It's good. Good point. So nothing else surprised you?
I mean, I'm surprised by how many D linemen we have. I think it's excessive.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but for the most part, I just can't wait. It's like, I've been so excited for this. So it's like the anticipation of actual football that means something that, because I'm excited because I have the feeling in this
J21,
year,
my friend. Anybody thinks they can destroy me, J21, I will smoke all of you.
Mark my words, guys. This will be the year the Jets annihilate any semblance of the Lowell Jets narrative.
Think so? Why is that?
I have a feeling about it.
What feeling do you have?
I have a feeling like, look, they've been making a lot of smart decisions, except, look, there are a lot of weird things with the roster cuts, but there's still time for that to be sorted out.
Okay.
But I've loved the decisions they've made so far over the drafting, the free agency. I just feel confident that this is finally the time for us to eradicate these narratives that we constantly have to hear from every other fan base.
So then how do we eradicate these narratives? So we're going to win 9 or 10 games, play very good, competent football week in and week out, right?
Yeah,
much better defense, top 15 defense.
exactly everything you just said.
Okay. Fair
Sounds
enough.
reasonable.
Like I said, like I'm confident about things. I'm just confident.
So then you're confident week 1 Jets are going to win?
That's why he's going, right?
Yep.
I'm confident. Like I said, we are going. The only place the Ravens are going to be going. I'm trying to think of the shitty pun.
Are you burping right now? What are you doing?
I'm not burping. Like I said, no, I was going to think of a pun, but it just failed miserably. I just read it in my head that no, don't say that. That's going to be bad.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you week 1.
Like, hope to be there.
You're going to be there. Just
what's
go
the
ahead.
location? What's the location? What lot are you guys going to be in?
J21.
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
J is in Jets 21.
Man, Tyson, man, we in G17, man. Stop playing.
No,
G17.
we're not like that. We embrace everybody in our area.
B59.
All right, we're gonna go to Blade. What's up, man?
How's it going, boys?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. I agree with a lot with you said, Tyrone, that you felt like we lost a lot of depth, but also like we can't be worried. Like season ain't over it, but I mean it is just a little frustrating.
No, but it's just areas of concern that we get to address over the next couple of days. Like it's just like
Right.
all right, it's just like we're just evaluating shit, man. Like listen, this is a potential problem. How is Joe Douglas going to handle it? Like we're all still encouraged and excited about the season, but
Yeah,
just you have that desire to just be a good team. You know what I mean?
yeah, but really, Joe Douglas, he's pretty savvy on the waiver wire, man.
Yep.
I mean Quincy Williams, right? Braxton Berrios, JFM. Like it seems like he snags a starter every year. But I'm not saying he's going to do that. But right now, I think the biggest concern is safety. I don't know what's going on. I think that Hart guy's out there. Go get him.
Yeah, I'm all about them like making a few moves. I'm all about them making a few moves on the waiver
I'm
wire.
at work. What do you mean?
I just wonder why they chose to keep some of the guys that are still on the 53 right now instead of some of the other guys.
Right. And I like the Bam Knight over Coleman, but I don't get Ty Johnson over Coleman. That made no sense to me, especially where he's kind of a leader in that room.
Yep.
Not at all.
Like Carter says it all the time. They look up to him.
Yep.
And offensive tackle, I'm like, that's where I'm scared. Mostly.
That's my biggest fear right now.
Right.
I mean, but the one thing that we know Joe D's gonna do is find a lineman. I ain't worried about that. And then listen, I was tired of watching the Douglas get beat every single week, every time we have to use.
Then why do you bring him back?
You know, I mean,
and that's all, dude. And that's also the thing. I mean, whoever you bring in now, I mean, they haven't worked with Tomlinson or whichever
Right.
side you needed on AVT. Like, there's still the learning process of learning the offense, getting familiar with the teammates, calling out all the different blitzes and everything else. So, like,
yeah,
there's an acclimation period still, whoever you bring in. So, like, you knew you needed depth. Why not do this at the start of training camp instead of, kind of going through the process with a lot of guys that we all kind of figured weren't really part of your future?
Or trade Mims, or last week trade Mims for somebody.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing too, is Mims going to be happy? Do you think they went to him and said, hey, we'll give you 8 plays where you're the guy we're going to target or whatever, but you're still going to be our 5th receiver / special teams guy? Do you think that would make him happy?
No,
I'm not sure.
I mean, he wants to be a starter, but at the end of the day, listen, man. And
But if you're getting 8 targets a game,
yeah, but hold on, timeout.
or 8 looks.
Targets. You're taking that away from Garrett Wilson, taking away from Elijah. You're taking away from better players.
Okay. I'm not saying 8 targets. I mean 8 where he's the first look, first route. So out of the eight, that he's the first one, he might get 6.
But
listen, man.
5 to 10 plays where he's on the field. But as far as like him being the number 1 option, that's Elijah Moore. That's Garrett Wilson.
But what are you going to offer?
This is the problem with the society we live in now, man. Because at the end of the day, man, if you ain't good enough to get it done, your ass don't be on the field. Why everybody got a participation trophy? Listen, the guys that are in front of him are better. No, I think Mims is good, but I think Davis, Moore, I think that Wilson are better than
Bingo.
Mims. That's the
right.
problem. That's been the whole issue. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think what's my man name? Not Jackson White.
Barrios?
White? No. The other the fifth receiver we
Jeff
kept.
Smith?
Smith.
Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith is better than Mims. That is the
No
problem.
way.
So
I don't think
you
you.
don't think
No
so?
way.
At receiver?
Not a receiver. Special
Okay, then
teams
what,
wise,
listen,
he's more valuable.
Then tell me
He's more
this.
versatile.
If Mims
Yeah.
is that kind of, if he's that kind of player, he's that kind of guy, why he ain't on the field? Why he on the field?
Well, it's
Why is he
not
on
that.
the-
Someone with the
It's
coaching
guys
staff.
who can't run routes. It's guys who can't run routes and
Why is he
can't
on the
perform
53 then?
that still get playing
Yeah,
time.
why is he still here?
I was on the 53.
Because they
Why
want
is he still here?
they want to get some value for him.
Exactly. Joe D's going to trade Mims.
So
eventually,
you
man.
cut a talented player in the hopes of a team giving you a 6th or a 7th round pick for Mims?
You're not going. No. You're not.
Right.
You're not going to cut it to. Nah, Joe D ain't taking less than the 4 for Mims, and he know that.
All we're saying is there's still value there. He's still worth something.
No. Listen,
That's
he's
why
not.
he's on the.
I'm not saying Mims is a bad player. What I'm saying
Yeah.
to you is like you talking about put the whole package in for a player that listen, the players in front of him are better. So like
I'm not saying the whole package. I'm saying
Still, if he's one of your
you
top,
gonna take 8 plays. You gonna take 8 plays away from
receivers,
Wilson?
don't you have an
Take 8
obligation,
plays away
especially
from Moore?
giving a 2nd round
just
pick?
because you're the
Don't you
number
have an
one
obligation
doesn't mean you're getting the
to find
ball.
out what it is?
No.
If
Listen,
you're going to keep
see
him
what
on
you
your
not understand
53?
is it's the reason why his ass was a 2nd round pick. That's why he dropped. Listen, we can say whatever we want to say, right? He didn't go in the 1st round. He went in the 2nd round, late in the 2nd round, and it's the reason why. And then we understand
It's because of the gun charge, right?
What does that mean?
No, I mean, I just listen. I don't know what it is. I like the kid. I want to see the kid perform. I am just saying that you can't take reps away from Davis, Mims, and Wilson to suit his happiness.
So when Corey Davis and Elijah Moore don't play in the preseason, why is Tariq Black the first receiver on the field? What sense does that make?
I don't have a question for. I don't have an answer for that. But I'm telling you, maybe they looked at Black. Listen, the only reason Mims didn't get cut is because they Jody wants
or they could say we know, or they could say we know what Mims is. We want to see what Tariq Black is running with the number 2s and number 3s. Maybe see that.
What about last season though?
More important.
I don't think I just
you just stirring the pot.
Mims on the roster, and he's legitimately behind Corey Davis on the depth chart on the outside. Like, shouldn't he be getting some work with the 1s and 2s in case he's actually needed, in case Corey Davis does go down?
I mean, we know Corey Davis hasn't been healthy ever. So we know that Mims has a chance to hit the field this year. Listen.
And will he though?
When the opportunity presents, he's the only wide that we have left. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's going to get that position.
Jeff Smith.
What I'm saying to you is this now, just over Mims. No, size-wise, we're talking about Davis. We're not talking about Wilson, or we're not talking about Moore. We're talking about on the outside, you need Davis, so you need somebody physical. What I'm saying to you is this. Okay, Mims having a problem running routes, right? You telling me a 6'3", 200-pound guy can't run you can't come up with a slant right for this guy? It's more than that. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. All I'm saying is this though, like let's not understand that he's not at fault somewhere in this situation as well. It's something that he's doing.
Yeah.
Because talent trumps. Listen, it's the NFL. Deshaun Watson just got $230 million, and the motherfucker can play for 10 games. Let's be realistic here. Talent trumps anything in the NFL. Correct? Am I right or wrong?
He's proven talent.
In this situation, you're wrong. Because Mims has talent. That's not the problem. It's everything
He's
else
not
around
proven.
him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so here's a would you take this scenario? Mims for Chuck Clark, Baltimore safety. Trade him straight up.
I don't know Chuck Clark that well, so I can't even speak to it, to be honest with you.
Well, he's a starter 17 games last year, and he beat out Tony Jefferson. So,
what's his contract like?
He's a 1-year deal.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Why don't we do that? Why isn't Mims gone?
Where they could get it.
Yeah, I mean that's
situation out.
But I mean, listen, but it does make sense to keep Mims. Listen, what if Davis or Moore goes down? They haven't both been shown that they're excellent of health. Why not keep somebody like Mims?
Well, that's what they're doing right now. They're keeping him as an insurance policy until they find value for him. That's it.
Yeah.
And they said,
you know what? Do you think they'll play
him all preseason? If you're actually going to keep him on the roster as depth, why not fucking play him if he's needed?
Hey,
give him some
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. But what I'm saying to you is this, though. I mean, at some point,
let's just trade him. Let's stop dealing with this.
Prime time. They gave him his reps the last game. They gave him the showtime you needed.
Yeah, the showcase. Yeah, they showcased him for trade possibilities. That was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the only reason they played him like that.
That's
He
it.
didn't get those looks in game
Because
one
he's
and game
not
two.
he's not a fit. He's not a fit in their system. For whatever reason, it's not
Okay, so
going
if
to
he's
work.
not
Oh,
fit,
square peg,
let's just
round
move
hole.
on and
Just
be done with it. They
like,
just released a kid in Calvin Jackson who looked good all summer. Why not
Right.
give
I
him
like
the
Calvin
roster
Jackson.
spot? If
And I
Mims
hope he
is
comes
good
And
back
maybe
to
he'd be.
and he's a locker room cancer, he's a problem. There's an issue with work ethic. Fucking cut him. Send a message that way. Well, we're trying to hold out for a 6th round pick. Why?
Yeah, I mean,
Look
Well, they're not saying he's a locker room. They didn't say he's a locker room cancer. They just said they can't give him the reps that he wants.
do you
Nah,
think
if
this
you
is the
want-
arguments they're having between Sala and Douglas?
well,
Like
nah,
Douglas's team and Sala's team.
If you
I
heard
hope
what
it's
if
not
you
like
heard
that.
what Silas said today though, like he was like, yo, he said if Mims was a problem with his attitude, I was like, yo,
He'd be
get him the
gone.
fuck out of here. He
Yep.
said, but
Yeah.
you know, the kid's very respectful and he shows up and does what he's supposed to do. So unless he causes a problem, but listen, prime time, you're absolutely right. One bad apple will spoil a bunch. But if the kid just complaining about not getting playing time, but not causing a rift in the locker room, you know what I'm saying? But that's up to the veterans to check that shit too. Like, look, big fella, I know you want to play and all that, but yo, sometimes, man, you got to grab your balls and man up. Like, yo, when you get on the field, you get on the field. That's it. You can't let something like that distract the whole team. But I understand that keeping Mims, in case somebody goes down, you got a quality guy. I don't know why they didn't give him the
Well,
reps.
you're keeping him now because to cut him would be stupid.
Yes,
You can get
sir.
value. He's got value. So if you
Right.
can get something for him, you get it. Like that's the only reason. I mean, that's the game you got to play because other teams are probably banking on it. Like, you know what? We're not going to give you shit. We're going to cut him. Then we'll keep him then.
Yeah.
But if you don't play him, then his trade talk and his agent is just gonna get worse and worse, and then he
Well,
becomes
then it'll come down probably to the trade deadline. Then he'll probably be gone. That's probably what happens.
He'll get traded by the trade deadline. It just won't, like I said, it might not be for much. But at the end of the day, why not? You know, listen, to find out what we have until, you know what I'm saying, we get everything secure. Why not keep him? I understand that. Listen, I'm not mad about the Mims still being on there. My more thing is the cornerbacks and then Davis.
But I mean, the Mims situation has been going on for 2 years now. I mean,
Right.
this is last year and this year, so it's clearly it's either sometimes a player doesn't jive with the coaching staff or whatever the fuck it is. It's just like something is just off. So if they knew this was going to happen, this could have been dealt with in the offseason. They could trade him in the offseason.
absolutely.
They could have traded him in training camp. They couldn't have to wait to get to this point.
OTAs.
You could have did it before a public trade demand.
That there was interest in Denzel Mims last year. Like teams
the
were
trade
calling
deadline.
twice about it. So if there was an issue,
and you could have got more. You could have got more this offseason. You could have got more. You could have got more this offseason than you would. You know what I'm saying? At the trade
They did
deadline.
the same shit with Marcus May.
Yep.
Marcus May was coming back, and then he got fucking hurt.
Yep. Robbie Anderson.
It's such a shame too, because Mims would be a perfect person to step in for Corey Davis next year, and it sucks that he can't. You know there's whatever's going on can't get fixed. That's what sucks.
Yeah, but this happens when you change regimes, though, man. It's like this
Right.
is what happens.
The 2020
sometimes.
draft's gone. You know what I mean?
Disaster.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, boys.
Have a good night, bro.
Different regime, but still Douglas pick.
Still, but it's not the coach.
But
It's not
it's
Gase.
a different coach, different system. You know what I'm saying?
Different
So, I
coach,
mean,
different
like,
system, different mindset, different culture, different program. It's all different.
Because I just thought Mims was when we drafted Mims. I thought we got the steal of the draft. You know what I'm saying? I really did. You know, but like I said, right now, I mean, I don't know why it's not working. But listen, I'm happy with Davis. I'm happy with Moore. I'm happy with Wilson. I'm happy with these guys. I'm happy with Barrios. Man, listen, this is the one thing people don't understand, bro. This is the best receiving core we've had since Brandon Marshall and Decker, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have more depth than that group.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got legitimate playmakers we have legitimate playmakers on the outside, bro. Something we haven't had. We had guys that are shifty, that in open space are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen. Sometimes you got to make hard decisions when you got a better team. We're not used to having all this talent on offense. We're used to finding guys out. Remember that one year? What's the one dude that we picked up like 3 days before
this doesn't
started?
have nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's just that the kid has talent. He's here and it's not working out. So it's not like he's a shitty player. He's a good player. It's just something's just wrong. So it's how they want to handle it. That's all this is. Because I guarantee you, if he goes somewhere else, he's going to play. It's just something went awry here, and we're never going to. I mean, we know some of it, but we don't know all of it. That's so.
And that's the issue again. Like with it dragging on for a full year, at some point you either just cut bait and say, you know what, it's not working out. Best of luck, go somewhere else, or you find a way to motivate him, incorporate him into the offense, do something if you're going to keep him around and ultimately keep him over other receivers that were making plays all summer. to me, there's a disconnect, and it doesn't look good. Like within the locker room, how do you feel about it? Like, I mean, if you're a player, you're watching, Calvin Jackson.
No, that's not necessarily true, because the players also know when a guy's dogging it. A players also know when a guy doesn't go to practice. A player also knows a guy's not going to work in the weight room. A players know all that too. So
that's what I'm saying. So how do you think the locker room's taking it if Denzel Mims is making it and somebody else like Calvin Jackson?
But if they also know, but I think I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying Mims is an issue with those things. I mean, do you think the locker room approves of him being on the 50?
No, I'm sure they're holding him accountable to a certain point. Like, this is a business, and until he parts ways, we'll be his friend and we'll be his teammate, knowing that he's on his way out the door. The NFL, it's a business now. It's like, all right, we got to get something back for you until you're out of here. So we'll play the team game. But the players all know, dude. They all know what's going on in there.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that.
We will go to Luca. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? I got to level the mood here. I know we're a little tensious right now, so. I know. Prime time. Come on, you were pretty angry during that whole segment. You were fired up.
He's been angry for a week now.
I've been calm. I'm cool.
Is it true that you were angry over the win against the Giants? Because I was actually at that game.
No, that is not true. Completely false.
That
was
we were having fun with him.
That's all. Rumor started in the chat. Not true.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, with the whole Mims thing, it's interesting because obviously, they played the tough love game from last year. And, obviously when he got his chance on the field, he didn't produce. That's why I keep telling people, obviously we were all complaining at the beginning of the year, Mims has this talent. The guys like Berrios and Ryan Griffin were being used over him last year. I'm like, okay, put this guy in a situation. But once Corey Davis and Elijah Moore went down, Mims hurt himself with the penalties and the drops. It's the mental errors. And I think that's derailed his confidence since then. So maybe I think the coaching, again, I don't know what the coaching staff sees. Maybe the coaching staff is like, okay, let's see what you have this year. Maybe you have a fresh new mindset. And first game was the penalties. Obviously, there was some good in there against the Eagles, but there was the penalties. There was the drops again. The second game wasn't that much impressive. Again, it was later on, which they included him.
And he also had the incidents in practices, too, where he was frustrated and arguing with teammates.
Hanging his head. Salah said he was frustrated. But
don't you think, though, the overall frustration, like, not to cut you off, like, don't you think that frustration kind of stemmed from the usage, being in special teams reps? Like,
sure.
If the Jets
were denying that,
back with like a fresh start, chance to prove yourself, and then he comes in and he's still being used the same way he was last year.
Well, dude, if he doesn't like playing special teams, tough fucking shit. It's your job.
You got to be versatile.
You want to make the team get more reps, play special teams. You don't like it, tough shit.
And Luca got a great point, though, man. Like, you finish your point, Luca, because you was really on it, man. Like, he really broke it down. Like, that's what it was. That's what we've been saying right here. He's not, what I'm saying, he's given the opportunity in the first game, second game, and going to the third game, Luke.
Yeah, third game, that was his biggest game, whether it was the Jets wanting to up his trade value or he just had that great of a game, wanted to flip off the coaching staff. But here's the thing, though. But when you're pissed off at the coaching staff, doesn't that motivate you a little more and say, you know what, let me really stick it to these guys? And I'm sorry, he hasn't done that. Nope. So keep him on the roster for now and then trade him for, all these teams are calling in, the Bears, the Cowboys, the Packers, whoever. You could show that tells you that there's a lot of interest. There is value out there, whatever it is.
I agree.
I agree with you too.
But I don't think, in my opinion, this is like, as I said, I was coming on to be level-headed. Like, I'm not freaking out over the rest of the season because of these cuts. Like, that, you could definitely question them. But as Tyson said so many times, there's going to be some good players. They're going to be cut from this team and signed elsewhere.
Yep.
And
but we're not freaking out about the season.
Oh, no, not you guys.
The topic of the day in general is the team made cuts. We evaluate the cuts. We share our opinions, whatever they're worth.
Right.
And then tomorrow we move on to it.
You have a right to do that. Absolutely. Everybody's freaking out about the Streveler thing, but they listen. He was the hero. They brought him in late. So what chance did he really have? Yes, you could argue he outplayed Mike White, but Mike White also, as you said, knows the system, and he's obviously been here long enough. Streveler was just a camp body. Let's be realistic. He'll be on the practice squad. No big deal. And as for the running backs, that's questionable as well. Listen, Zonovan Knight's all fine and well. Coleman, I wanted to keep. I projected that the Jets were going to keep him. Ty Johnson should not be on this team. He's not a great pass protector, and he's not a good catching receiver. I was at the Saints game last year. We just had so many drops.
He's so bad.
He's not good. Like if this was 1 year ago, I would have said, okay, I'll keep Ty Johnson, but then our running back room wasn't so great. Then now you have Breece Hall, now you have Michael Carter. I think Breece Hall still has to learn a little bit because obviously he is a rookie.
Especially in blitz pickup.
Exactly. That's the concern with the running back room. Offensive line, obviously, there's moves to be made there too. There should have been a tackle way before this whole training camp started. Another depth tackle, swing tackle. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments, everyone. But again, we go back to the obviously they signed Dwayne Brown, but long before the Becton injury, if they had those concerns, they should have went out and got a veteran swing tackle. Darrell Williams is still available. Kendall Lamb is still available. Bobby Massey's still available. So again, I'm being critical, but they also could do this through the waiver wire. Get a tackle through the waiver wire. Depth is hurting.
But the only thing is, we knew last year McDermott and Doggett weren't the answer. We knew that.
Exactly.
When they brought them back, we knew they weren't going to be the answer, right?
Exactly.
We all can agree that we knew they were getting cut. So if we knew it, they had to know it. Here they still are, and now you're still in the same problem with a depth problem.
110%. And Connor McDermott's hurt, so you're left with Max Mitchell, and if Grant Herman's is still on the team, which he's garbage, so you got to go out get that veteran tackle, whether it was a waiver wire or not. Defensive line, I think they should keep at least 9 or 10 because you have to save some depth for the offensive line. I knew that players were going to be cut. I'm shocked that Curry's still here. He just has not been healthy, especially the risk from what he had last year, retired for a little bit, and then he came back. Yes, Vinny, I will be with LTJ in week 1. Bradley and I knew was going to get cut. A few others, Jonathan Marshall, Tanzel Smart. Hopefully they're back, obviously, on the practice squad. But you know what? I'm not going to underestimate, the Joe Douglas, bringing possibly the guys he cut back onto the roster before week 1, if that's a possibility. Yep. So again, I'm in wait and see mode, but I am critical, especially of the safety position. There are veterans out there. Will Parks, I was questioning why they cut him. Same with Jason Pinnock. And again, I said this in chat. I don't know if you guys read my comments, but Sal was like, okay, Pinnock is going to be groomed this year so he can start next year.
Yep.
Actions obviously speak louder than words. Ashton Davis, he was this overhyped athlete coming out of college. We saw all these draft reports. I was shocked when the Jets drafted him. Oh, he could play nickel corner. He could play safety, outside corner, kick returner. Where's the versatility? He's terrible.
See, the weird thing about Sal and Pinnock is that if he's your project and then you're giving him all these first team reps, second team reps, all these value reps, and then you cut him, if Tony Adams is so fucking good, shouldn't he be getting these reps? Or if you're keeping Ashton Davis, shouldn't he be getting those reps? Yep. Like all the guys that are getting those first and second string reps are gone. Because Joyner was out for a while because Joyner was sick.
I find it also exactly. I find it also
the process for evaluating a lot of these players.
It doesn't make any sense, dude. And it's not even like the preseason. I get it because you want to get everybody in, but this is practice. We were at the fucking practice. I literally watched the defense for fucking 3 hours against the Falcons. I watched that. That's where I saw Pinnock playing, and that's I won't get into it. But that's what some of this shit pisses me off for because
I understand.
It's not like we're not like. Yes, we watch the reporters' reports. We listen to Sal's press conference. We were actually at the fucking practice watching it ourselves.
Yeah, you could see it visually. You have the chance to. I also find it interesting that
Davis didn't start. Well, he didn't get no run with the first team, correct?
Not at all. They were hyping him. They were hyping him in OTAs. The beat was hyping always having this great OTAs. Once training camp happened, crickets. And this, I find it interesting that Joe Douglas did not cut Davis, but he cut Pinnock, which was one of his draft picks from last year. So it's like. It's weird, kind of. Man. I don't want to say it's a double standard, but you got to treat it that way. Like that, Davis is a part of an awful class.
We were just saying different regime on offense, right? Different regime on defense, but last year's pick cut, 2020 still here.
Strange, man. It's strange.
Again, I'm not freaking. Again, I know you guys aren't doing it, but people are like, I guess lowering their expectations. They're freaking out. But again, I'm being the reasonable one, waiting and seeing, but I will also critique because I have
this is like my own eyes. This is the instant analysis. The cuts happen, you analyze it. Tomorrow they announce the practice squad, their claims, you analyze that, and then like on Friday it's okay. Here's our roster. What do we think as we get ready for the Ravens? And we all move on. But it's like part of the process. But like to say like Joe Douglas is invincible or this and that's not true. Anybody can be criticized. And the other thing too is that these guys are still a work in progress. Like Salah as a coach is still a work in progress.
Yeah,
so the judgments he's making, if he's like for Primetime's question, some of the judgments he's making for his defense, as of now, we had the right to question it because he hasn't accomplished anything. We saw some of the worst defense in our life last year.
Horrible.
The defense was horrendous. So you're trying to see. We all want to see it improve. So you question shit, which it's the nature of being fans, man.
It's not even just the coaching staff. It's every aspect of the organization right now is still under scrutiny to some extent. Nobody's proven anything to this point. The GM, the head coach, the quarterback, we all like a lot of the intangibles and what we see and the direction and all of that. But as far as what they've proven on the field, everybody's still a giant question mark.
I mean, we're all excited. I mean, the roster's no doubt improved. I mean, there's definitely a lot more talent than we've had in recent years.
Yeah, obviously.
We hope it keeps translating. We just want to make sure that they win games this year, and we don't have built-in excuses. And we don't have like certain areas where it's like a legitimate concern that aren't addressed that actually hurts the quarterback. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, definitely. I saw somebody mention in the chat, talking about Brady Man, but honestly, some people have been saying this on Twitter. And I kind of agree. Why don't the Jets look for punters possibly? Because Brady Man's he's terrible. He is the most overhyped Jets player.
Now he can do kickoffs too. Who gives a shit?
It's because he tackles.
Yeah, great.
He's
you know why he's tackling? He's shanking his goddamn punts.
Yeah.
He has this big leg, and all of us coming out of college, and he's out putting up Lachlan Edwards stats. We got rid of Lachlan Edwards because of Braden Man. We were going to draft this guy out of college, and he's average.
Yeah, there's definitely upgrades out there. They said that the Bengal punter that they cut today is a good punter.
Sam Martin as well from the Broncos.
Why didn't we have another punter in camp anyway?
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't know. Morstead was better last year.
Handed the fucking job. Like he couldn't compete with somebody.
Well, he wasn't punting anyway.
Morstead was better last year.
So that's a whole nother.
Morstead was better last year, and the Jets cut him. He was special teams player of the month when they cut him.
Yeah. Yep.
He was awesome.
I don't get it.
Luca, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
See you guys week 1.
Have a good night, man.
Sir. I can only imagine the feedback from this fucking show. I can just already hear it. People are gonna be like, "We fucking negative assholes."
Not negative, man.
Bro, you don't understand,
bro. Like,
dude. I spent 20 minutes arguing with a guy today that the Jets should cut Flacco. He's like, "Bro, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Flacco should be cut. Streveler should be starting." Like, what?
What?
What are we talking about here? I'm like, we're at this point now.
That's crazy.
20 minutes. And then he's like, if you knew what you were watching, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm watching, dude. We all can't be as smart as you. Clowns.
There's plenty of channels out there. If you want everything's great, trust the process, patience, no critique.
Hey, man.
Plenty
I
of
trust the
channels.
process. We're going to bring on Chris.
We trust the process while we critique.
What's up, man?
Hey, I made it.
Chris?
You made it.
Great. Finally. First time, long time. So I'm glad to be on. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Hey, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Glad Tyrone was on time as usual, so that's a good thing.
I was at work. I've been at work all day, Chris.
I'm just
but
kidding.
I called in early.
But to your point earlier about Mims, right? Sometimes you just need a fresh start. I mean, look at Chris Carter. He was on Philly, didn't make it, was on the Vikings, turned it around. So he probably just needs to be in a different venue. We know he's talented. It's just not going to work out with this regime. But that's not why I called. With the tackles, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they want to trade Adoga, but then they just release him out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and
that was strange. It was like the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys want him, but they then the rumor came out right before the trade deadline too, or right before the cut deadline. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Why give up value? The Jets are going to cut him.
Well, that's why I didn't believe it, because it was a rumor out there just before the end of the time that everyone's going to get cut. So I go, I don't think the Cowboys are going to make a play for it. But there is one guy in the Packers that they just released, Caleb Jones. He looks like a very promising talent if they could pick him up on the waiver wires. You don't have to train him on the new system, right? Because he's already coming from the Matt LaFleur system. Yep. So that might be a good pickup if they maybe Joe thought about that and saw there's going to be a few people that are released, and plus these GMs talk overall. Oh, Tyrone left.
I just want somebody to back up at tackle that actually has some experience, like in games, a veteran. Like right now, you're looking at Max Mitchell, who's a 4th round pick. Ideally, you'd like him to have a few years before he's forced into playing time. So, are you bringing back Adoga? Are you bringing back McDermott? Or are they going to be able to make a claim on somebody?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's just going to cost you at some point. And I don't know. With Braden Man, I mean, it's like I would have loved to get Matt Ariza, but now with the news that came out
you can't
the last 48 hours or so.
But see, the thing, go back to the offensive line, though, and that's the one thing that we praise Joe Douglas for a lot of things. I mean, last year he got lucky with Morgan Moses. This year he got lucky with Dwayne Brown. But now it's like the depth, man. Like you're one injury away from being in deep shit right now, on either side, left or right. There's nobody there. That's dangerous, man. When you have a young quarterback back there, you don't want to get happy feet and get rattled. So hopefully he figures a way to get that figured. It's get somebody in here, man, and not a project, like a legitimate NFL tackle.
Yeah. I don't want Matthew Mitchell having to go in at any point.
Nope, not right now.
Season. Not at all.
Nope.
Well, the one thing with Adoga, he definitely knows the system. He does get pushed around a bit, but last year at times when he plugged in, he didn't look too bad. But everyone looked a little bit better the second half of the season, right? I mean, even McDermott scored a touchdown. They found value somewhere for these players.
Yeah, but offensive line in general flipped it around once they brought in LDT and replaced Roten.
Yeah, but just say for an example, though, last year. When Becton went down, the Jets got luckier than shit that George Fant stepped up and played like that. Just say Dwayne Brown goes down for 6 weeks. Do you feel comfortable with who playing left tackle for 6 weeks? You move George Fant over there, and who's playing right tackle? It's like you don't have who's a starter for 6 weeks,
Right. I just want to make one point about Stifler, the QB.
Strevler?
So I did bring up a stat sheet that I wanted to put up here, and there's some I know. It's okay. You could trash me after I get it. I just want to kind of make my point. But there's always something about preseason and these undrafted free agents. You got Danny Woodhead, what's his name? Victor Cruz, Snacks Harrison. It's like there's always these hidden gems, not just in the Jets and Giants, but everywhere around the league. But here are some QBs that were never drafted or undrafted. Some of them you're going to recognize and shake your head. Warren Moon, Dave Craig, John Kitna, Tony Romo, Kurt Warner, Bobby Habert. I don't even know that. Jake Telhome, Mike Tomczak.
But you'd rather
Fiedler, Sean. Wait, just give me a second, Tyson. Sean Hill, Brian Hoyer, Case Keenum, and Matt Moore. I mean, Matt Moore kicked our ass in a few games. I'm not saying that he's going to be the starter. I'm just stating this guy might be more valuable than Mike White. Hopefully we get him back on the practice squad, and maybe he'll be there next year. But there was something magical about him, just no practice, no reps, and getting out there. And
it reminds me when Brett Ratliff was on the. Remember the Brett Ratliff with the Jets, like the preseason hero. But listen, I get what you're saying, but I think it'd be more interesting if Zach Wilson was healthy right now. So if you had Wilson, Flacco, and then these guys were all competing, maybe you say, you know what, he could beat out Mike White, and you have it that way. But I think just right now where the Jets are at, week one, do you want Strevler being your backup to Flacco? I don't.
No,
that's
I'm not saying I want him to play now. I definitely want Flacco to play. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying hopefully they get him on the practice squad, give him a chance to develop and groom and see if he can become more of it. Yeah. But right now, I don't think he's ready to be the backup.
No, I don't think so. But I think if you gave him a full playbook with reps, he might be good enough. Oh yeah, who am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Wayne Corbett, some guy that was undrafted. So anyway, thanks for giving me a little bit of airtime here. I really appreciate it. No. First of all, guys, hit the like button. There's more of us watching that actually then hit the like button. Do that. I know you guys never do that. You guys could care less, but definitely do it. So at least do that on their behalf. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Great night, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good one, man. Great call.
I'll tell you the Strevler thing was like a big storm for 2 days now, 3 days. People are just outraged about it.
But I really hope he makes it to the practice squad, though. I really do. I hope he does. I mean,
that's the perfect place to develop him right now. He's got some talent. He earned a spot there, but to put him on the active roster in case.
And then next year, let him battle it with Mike White. You know what I'm saying? Joe Flacco will be gone next year. Zach will be back. Will be healthy. Yo, if he beats out Mike White, we got a young backup to be behind Zach. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, everybody's talking about him. I'm like, you know what? I give a shit about Zach Wilson. Like this Strevler, Mike White shit's funny to talk about now. I can give two rats' asses about that. Like once Zach is back, hopefully in 2 weeks, that's all I'm worried about. Like I can care less about Mike White and these guys.
Still not practicing yet.
Yeah, he's not playing the Ravens game.
He was I hope, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope he doesn't play the Ravens game. Not even Cleveland either. Bring him back like Pittsburgh or something like that.
Cleveland at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting credit for walking normally right now. Like that's the point now. You're like, what, Tuesday? You're a week and a half from the first game. He ain't playing.
Nah,
There's
you
no
don't want
way.
to rush him back and something happen, he gets hurt. Nah, man, nah. Let's just take our time with that.
Yeah. So we got. Let's see. There's a comment in here too. It's funny as shit. The chat's been in rare form tonight, man. There's been some fun. I missed it though. It was a funny as hell though. I guess we can go to our cleanup hitter for the evening.
Jose,
what's up, man?
My guys.
How you doing, man?
How you doing? Good, I'm doing good.
What's up, bro?
Tyler.
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Are you a scout now? You a scout now? That's what we're doing?
Seahawks scout. What are we doing?
Well, there's so many former Jet scouts.
You did a former, pretty terrible job scouting your quarterback position there.
That's right.
Hey,
I'm happy for them.
Hey, I wasn't.
I am too.
Hey, I just got hired. I might be fired by next week.
So you're gonna be buying? So what are you buying? A Geno Smith jersey? What are you buying?
No. I am.
Did that shit quick too. No.
I am buying a Kobe Bryant Seahawks jersey.
There you go.
Because there is a cornerback named Kobe Bryant.
That's right.
I thought you meant you got like a custom like number 8.
Yeah, he played with Sauce, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the jersey. He's like, oh, come on.
Hey, Jose, I'll make you feel better. In my drunken stupor when I was drafting my fantasy football team, I actually drafted DK Metcalf. So you know he's going to suck this year, just so you know.
Oh, no.
Yep, he's screwed.
And my draft is this Saturday night.
Is Primetime invited?
What? No.
Kevin, you weren't invited?
No.
Oh, he kicked you out.
Wow. One season probably to boot you out, man. Was that bad, bro?
Bros before hose. That's what
Wow.
What number pick do you have, Jose?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know him yet?
It's all on Yahoo.
Oh.
To decide. So, guys, start trolling me about Geno. I know he's not going to be the starter after week 4. It'll
Probably
be
right.
Drew Lock again.
Yep, it will be.
No, the Ohio State fan, not in my fantasy football league. He's not even in the same league as me in life, but that's another story. No, I don't want to. Oh, hell no. I don't need another midget for a quarterback. Did I say that out loud? Oh, wow.
You're all fired up tonight, man. You all right? Ready for the holiday weekend?
I'm always fired up.
You are.
Yes. Oh, I'll do a
Speaking of
shotgun.
that, Tyson, I don't know if you remember, you owe 3 shotguns for week 1.
What do I owe 3 shotguns for?
You don't remember?
No.
About the Joe Flacco being the backup quarterback debate? He's not going to be the backup.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh,
am I wrong?
Come on.
We made it.
That's ridiculous.
You said, I'll find the video. You said, and I quote, I will do 3 shotguns if Joe Flacco is not the backup quarterback week 1. He is not going to be the backup quarterback.
I mean, we both know that's what Zach was starting.
Chat.
That's ridiculous. You're reaching now, man.
Chat.
You're just reaching now, man. You're just taking your anger out of me because you're shitty take about the losses.
I think the chat should decide this. You said, and I quote, you will do 3 shotguns if Joe Flacco is not.
You know what's amazing is Primetime can remember that. You can remember none of the other shit that goes on in this show.
no.
Bet is a bet.
So, Tyson, my Angels lose
Oh, fucking Yankees, man.
60% of the time. But we beat the fucking Yankees last
Oh, it's
night.
terrible. I can't take them anymore. I can't take it. I was thinking about you too when we lost. I'm like, oh, we're playing the Angels. We'll bounce back. Then Otani hits a fucking bomb. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
But I do not
No.
think Ohtani is the MVP. That is earned.
Judge.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. And I will be making a video about why that is on my channel tomorrow, because it's, if I do it tonight, it'll go up late as hell.
I hear that.
So make sure you look up my channel, Seahawks Jose Rodriguez.
Seahawks Jose. Yeah, make sure you tweet me, man. I'll tweet it out for you again. So tweet me your
Thank
link.
you. Thank you.
Jose, have a good night, man. Good talking to you.
PT,
Uh-oh.
have fun Saturday night. Doing whatever it is you do.
Yeah, I'll be going out, enjoying life, having a good time.
Carlo,
Enjoy your shit.
how's the weight loss going?
It's still going, bro. I'm not doing bad at all. Not doing bad at all, bro.
Good. All right, love you.
Have a good night,
Be
man.
good, bro.
All right, love you too, bro. You be good, man.
He's doing good with his channel too. I'm proud of him.
That's Jose, baby. Closer, baby.
That's it. So, I guess tomorrow they announce a practice squad, so we'll have all kinds of videos up and stuff like that. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Can't wait for all the negative feedback. You're welcome. Then we'll talk to you later.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Is it ending?